Hi, everybody. This is Virginia Monroe, and we're at our last episode of Men Will Grill, a live cooking demonstration show. Tonight with Eric Alexander, the assistant to the director at the Edgartown Library. Tonight, Eric, he and his family are great travelers, and he's been attempting to replicate some of the fabulous dishes that they had when they traveled in Greece, not this past spring, obviously, but the spring before. I've heard a lot about this trip, and I share his enthusiasm for Greece and for the Greek cuisine. He's going to teach us a lot about grilling tonight, and a lot about the equipment that he uses, the cut of the meat, the marinade. His wife, Christina, is participating in this off camera because she's made the tzatziki, which Eric will tell you about, and to go with the meat that he's grilling. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, it's Eric, so it's going to be funny. And I'm going to hand it over to him. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Right now, but I can see it. Maybe it's such a big piece of meat. Maybe I'm going to keep it a little higher than I'm used to. I like to lower the heat and use a lot of indirect heat almost to bake it so that it doesn't dry out. And then I like to actually, towards the end, kind of cut into it, to take a look into it. A lot of people say, don't cut into it. You'll dry it. It's a bad idea. It's really amateurish. But other people feel that when you cut into it, you kind of create more surface area and more texture, and I have really thoroughly enjoyed doing that, so I think I'm going to keep doing that. Bobby Flay says don't cut into it, but Chris said his last good year was 1999, and I totally agree. So there. All right, it's up to about 450 now, so I'm going to start putting the heat down a little bit. I really think it's important to know how your grill acts. You know, like if I put my heat all the way down, if I put all knobs all the way down, what will happen to the heat? Will the heat go up? Will the heat stay the same? Will the heat go down? In my case, it'll go up slowly. So even with all the way down, it'll actually keep going up a little bit, depending on how often you open it. So a lot of people, they say, don't peak. But if you're using it to regulate the temperature, I really like to peek. So there. If there's any questions, I'll take them. Otherwise, I'll start showing you some of my new tools that I like and what I use them for. I don't hear anything. Okay, good. So first tool that I've been trying to use lately is a different kind of grill mat. This kind of thing. You place it down flat on the grill and do whatever you want. Like, for example, cook eggs or something. I don't like it. I don't think it's worth it. It can work okay for maybe fish. I did it okay with fish. Some people think it keeps the grill cleaner because it's a little easier to clean a mat than it is to clean the grill. I don't think it's worth it. I don't like it. Show you another thing I don't like. I don't like grill brushes like this. These little bristles, the little bristles could get into your food. There are actually people go to the hospital every year because they've got metal bristles into their food. I have only kept this mostly to show you what I don't like. I do use the spongy side a little bit to clean it, but that's about it. I do like this that I got at Edgartown Hardware. This is the all-natural cleaner made with chlorinated water, corn, tree sap, cinnamon oil, and garlic. Maybe I'm adding a little taste in there. And a natural ingredient that I don't know what it's called, and I looked it up and it seems safe to me. So I use it, I spray it, I leave it for about 10 minutes, and then I go in there and clean it. In terms of actually cleaning your grill, one of the best tools, and it's very cheap, is a simple plastic paint scraper. It can really get in the stuff underneath it. Grills catch fire from time to time, and not in a good way. I don't want that happening. I don't want the neighbors laughing at me any more than they already do. Things are going just fine. I'm going to take another peek. I'm up to 450 degrees. I'm not used to that. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yep. Made a good tactical decision there. Moving along. The spatula I don't use so much anymore. This spatula, I don't use it so much anymore. It's nice and long. But what I really like about it is it's got the serrated edge. So that's what I'm going to use to cut into it in the end. And that's almost the major reason I keep it these days. I like the way my grill, the Weber, has hooks that I can put about 6 different things on, and keep them all near me at all times. In terms of what I do like to clean my grill with, I do like to use this. I like to do it while it's still a little bit warm if I can, although usually I'm eating while it's warm. A nice nylon brush. You can't put that particular one in the dishwasher, but some of them you can. This is hand wash. I'll put that right back. I guess you can tell I like to clean my grill. It's actually one of my favorite chores. I like to go out there, and because it affirms that I have a grill, you know, and then it looks pretty. Some people use stones. They use like this like pumice stone, and it actually conforms to the grill grates. I think it works okay. I like it, but I mean, I don't need pumice in my food, so I would still use the other thing to kind of follow up on it. Moving along, the fish spatula. The fish spatula looks a little bit more like this. It works well for fish, but it works well for anything, because, especially any meat, but it works well for vegetables too. The reason it does is because of there's like holes in it, it tears the flesh a little less. It just gives you, there's less contact with the meat, so it's less likely to stick to things in that regard, and that's why I like that. And I've switched over to using that the vast majority of the time. Normally, I'd be nervous about the heat. I forgot to. I can reiterate the cut of the meat and what I marinated in it. Okay, so to reiterate the cut of meat, it is a butterflied leg of lamb. It's about 1.75 pounds, I believe. I got it at Stop and Shop. Butterflied leg means that they've taken the bone out of it and then laid it flat, and it kind of looks a little bit like a butterfly. I didn't think mine looked like a butterfly. And then the marinade is mostly a mixture of extra virgin olive oil, about a 1/4 cup, and the lemon juice of 2 halved lemons. Those are the major ingredients. Then you put in some things like freshly chopped thyme, oregano, pepper, salt, a bay leaf, and I think I might be forgetting one. At any rate, mix them together, and you give it, I probably should have given it 8 hours, but I've given it 7. In this case, I'm not too worried about it because I made a second batch, as I've told everybody, and the second batch is in here, and I'm going to kind of rip it out onto it while I'm turning it to kind of give it some extra protection. So moving along, I'm kind of at the end. I actually have a dessert. A tzatziki sauce is pretty important in Greek cooking. What we're trying to do is we're trying to make something like in America, I think we call them gyros, but in Greece they're called gyros. And the sauce is made out of basically the main ingredient is a yogurt, but you put shredded cucumbers in with it. Most gyros have some sort of vegetables, lots of times onions or tomatoes. We don't usually put the onions in it. I think it has the tzatziki sauce has a zest. My wife always makes the tzatziki sauce, so I'm not that familiar with it. In terms of sides, I would serve with lamb. Holy moly, sides! I would say red wine is probably what I would serve with as a side. You know, just to be perfectly honest. Other than that, just whatever you like. The sides in Greece, I've had greens, breads. Sometimes their meals were super big. Cucumbers and tomatoes, like cucumber tomato salads. That was a big one there. They do kebabs, that kind of thing. But I haven't gone extensively because gyros are kind of almost like hot dogs or something. It's kind of or like burgers, kind of an informal food. So it could be rolled up in a Greek bread. Absolutely. I use pita is how I do it. Or almost eat it like a taco or something like that. So I don't personally feel like gyros really need a lot of side dishes unless maybe you're having a whole lot of other people over or you want to try something a little different. But that's up to you. I haven't gotten into Greek side dishes much. I considered grilling some clams tonight that I got today, because Greeks do a lot of like surf and turf type stuff. They have so many islands, but my family wanted to eat them, so I didn't grill the steamers tonight. If there's any other questions, feel free. Right now, I'm gonna flip it over and see what happens next. Let's take a look. Okay. Can you see that? Maybe not. Okay, so at this point, I've gotten a good handful of, I've gotten a little bit of char on it, and I don't love that. So pretty soon, I'll probably move it onto indirect heat. I will take it off the heat that's right over it and kind of start to bake it a little bit. I think the fact that it's at such a high temperature is going to help me out here a little bit. And I'm going to put some of this sauce on it right now. Wow.
Eric, we're just imagining what it smells like.
It smells really good. I'm actually blocking it out of my mind because I'm trying to pay so much attention to it. I do recommend having a beverage with yourself at all times during the summer while you're grilling, because otherwise it can get pretty hot out here. That's some sparkly water I got from, I believe, from Stop and Shop, actually. So,
can you tell us a little bit about your trip?
Yeah, so we flew into Athens, and we did the Athens thing. We just went around to their major sites, but we were only there for a couple days before we flew off to Ithaca. But you can't fly directly to the island of Ithaca because it is super mountainous. So there is no possible place they could put an airport there, and there's not a lot of sandy beaches. It's just like the cliffs just go straight into the ocean. So you have to fly to the bigger island next door, Kefalonia. So we did that, and we had a little house there. And then we hired a driver to take us across the island to the port of Sami. Sami is mentioned by Homer in the Odyssey, upon which you then take a ferry that is in some way similar to our ferry over to a tiny little, I didn't think ports could be smaller than Menemsha, but they can. So you take it to a tiny little place. We had called ahead, and a big guy named Makis picked us up. That's like the equivalent of Michael, but a little more of an endearing name, like a nickname. Then Makis drove us all over the island. I had set that up. Very good English speaker. We went all over. The first place we went, of course, was the palace, but then we went to a Greek monastery. We went to their downtown area. It's funny in a way. I almost felt a little bit, I don't know, I felt like I was driving around with an old guy, with a good old boy from OB, from Oak Bluffs. He'd lived there his whole life. We chased a goat at one point that ran in front of us. The history of Ithaca is a little bit sad, actually. They had no way to defend themselves. And so at one point I asked Makis, I pointed out some other ruins and said, "What are those?" And he said, that area was abandoned. And I said, "Really? Why? What happened?" He said, slavers came here. Slavers came. I did know that slavers came to Ithaca and really depopulated practically the entire island at one point. So, you really try. I really try to be respectful when I'm there. Upon which we went back to Kefalonia for another day. We flew back to Athens, and then I really think when you're in another country, it's a very wise decision to try to get bus tours, because maybe you don't know the roads, or maybe you don't know how they drive over there. Sometimes I have driven in other countries, but not in Greece, because I don't like driving right at the edges of mountains. I'm going to flip this. Yeah, all right, good. Flip that all the way down. How do I want to get that? That's fine. Actually, I'm going to do decisions. How do I want to cook this? All right, I've put all three down right now, but it's not really on indirect heat. Well, it's on a very low heat on the side. I think I'm going to move it up to the drying rack, which is, a lot of people think that's crazy, but I think it lifts it away from the heat and gets it kind of in, it gets away from the direct heat from the flame and gets it into more of a warm zone of kind of baking it from all around. And that's pretty much how I grill it. I sear it a few times, and then I move it to indirect heat.
Eric,
yes.
I'm really, well, I'm more familiar with gas grills now after the series, but I've never cooked on one. Do you ever cook something where you just leave the top open, or it does not work that way?
So according to Bobby Flay, who earlier I said his last good year was 1999, according to Bobby Flay, and according to some other grillers, that's kind of the preference of the griller, but that gas grillers tend to do it down and charcoal grillers tend to do it up. Yes, there are, I would say for the most part, no. I mean, sometimes, for me personally, I like to cook at really low temperatures because, yeah, I think it gives me more margin for error, and also because it's less likely to dry out, and also really because I like being out on my deck. I love being out on my deck grilling, so I like to make it last as long as I can. Just gives me a great excuse to be out here with my grill. But if you really want to take a really long time, you want to grill at really low rates, just open it on up. But there's nothing that needs to be flipped so much that you need to leave it open on a gas grill, in my opinion. So for the most part, you leave it closed. If you got a lot of stuff going on, maybe you're trying to do too much, or some grillers are better than others. I'm still getting a lot better. I can grill up to 3 things at a time, but I can't grill 20. Maybe someday I'll get there. If you try to do too many things, you may overcrowd the grill. It's a bad idea. The next step up from this grill is, I believe, called the Genesis grill. It has about 20% more space, and it has like a little extra shelf, but because it's a little bit bigger, it doesn't grill quite as evenly, and so I really like this grill. Moving along. I had a tiny little mistake last week that was a little funny. Rizwan last week, he told us about sometimes if you're outside, little bugs can visit you. That's never happened to me except once. When I took this grill brush, per se, to brush the oil onto my grill a few weeks ago, there were some critters hanging out in there, some little ants. And that's why I like to clean my grill and also clean my stuff, because I would rather not eat grilled ant. I would do it, but I'd rather not. That's just one of those things. One of the little surprises you can get. So far, so good. I'm actually going to go crazy here. I'm going to actually cut into it because I want to see it. It's been in there at a higher temperature than I'm used to. If I do it at the end, I think I can get away with it. No harm done. And I get to show you another tool. Bought this at Stop and Shop. Wasn't a whole heck of a lot, and it's super. I don't know what did I do before I had you? What did I do? All right, here we go. Miss the Saturday dance. Hard baked crowded the floor. Awfully different without you. Don't get around much anymore. So this is interesting. It cooked way, way, way faster than I thought or than I'm used to, which is fine. There's still it still needs some cooking. I've still got some time, but I've turned one of the knobs all the way off, so it's on totally indirect heat now. And it was cooking way up there in like 450-ish range that I'm not really used to. I want to get it down to about 325. It's about 350 right now, so I'm just gonna let some heat out. I'm just gonna peek for fun. Hey, how you doing? You doing all right in there? Okay. One thing you may notice when you open up your grill is that sometimes you see on the inside of the cover, you see these little like black flakes. Sometimes you think that's paint that's chipping off or something like that. It's not. It's just really, it's like just part of the meat that's come off. It's part of the food that's come off into the thing, and you should clean it. I clean it because I don't like it, and I don't like getting fooled thinking it's paint when it's not. But that can happen. So if you ever notice that, it's okay. Just clean it. It'll be fine. Moving along. The two bus trips we took one up to the Oracle of Delphi, and it was absolutely gorgeous. High in the mountains. You definitely understood why people wanted to go there. And then the next time I went to a kind of a more circular route to the south a little bit more. I went to the ancient city of Mycenae. Absolutely gorgeous. I definitely recommend it. And then, I love those kinds of trips. I love those kinds of tours because you don't have to worry about anything really. You just do it. You don't have to worry about anything, because they take care of everything for you. I get a little skittish if I'm driving in another country. Heck, I get skittish if I'm driving in Oak Bluffs at night. So, that's just me. I was a cab driver for a few years, and sometimes I get skittish when I drive. I like somebody else to do it. If you have any other questions, I'll answer them now. Otherwise, I think I'll put some more sauce on it. I didn't think so. I can see Kelly is. I think Kelly, you're out there. Thank you. One of my favorite cheerleaders in the world. Go Vineyard. Personally, I'd rather undercook my meat than overcook it. If I undercook it, I can put it back on, or God forbid, nuke it. But it's an easier mistake to fix. That's just me.
Eric, are you of the school that lets the meat sit so the juices return after you take it off the heat? That's generally what people say to do if you're doing a red meat, and I guess lamb is considered red meat.
No, I'm of the school where I get hungry and impatient and have ADHD and want to eat right away. So no, I'm not of that school.
Okay.
I am of the school where I will let it sit for a minute. So that's more like if I'm doing burgers, I'll let it sit to let the cheese melt, that kind of thing. I might let it sit there just while I'm gathering up the forks and knives and the wine and that kind of stuff. But no, for the most part, maybe I'll try that in the future. But I feel like if you kind of cook it right, that shouldn't be too big of a problem. And you notice me getting a little nervous about the temperature all the time, and that's because I really recommend trying to cook in the same zone. Like try to cook in the same general 50-degree zone as often as possible so that you get a really good sense of timing and you won't get any big surprises. However, in this case, I'm cooking with something I've never done before and it was bigger than usual. So I had to like kind of do some mental math, be like, all right, so how will I do it that way? And I still got surprised, but I got surprised in time to save it. And that's the big thing. I think the thing that's made me a much, much better griller is this actual grill. Prior to that, I had a $99 grill. The grill grates would get warped every 2 years. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. I didn't have the right tools, and I just thought I was a horrible griller. I guess because I was, but the instant I got this, I got way better. It might help if you're desperate or not desperate. By all means, you can always pray to this patron saint of grilling, Saint Lawrence. Saint Lawrence, patron saint of grilling, because he himself was grilled by the Romans. Actually, also patron saint. Thank you. Also patron saint of comedians. He was a little bit of a wise guy. He said to the Romans, "Hey guys, I think you should flip me over. This side is done." Also patron saint of archives, archivists, libraries, librarians, restaurateurs, and chefs. So St. Lawrence, that'll help you out when you're cooking. Take another, I'm going to cut into it again. Why not? I got nothing to lose. And everything to gain. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. So I will be thanking St. Lawrence tonight because I think I nailed it on my first shot ever on lamb, which is remarkable. Yeah, one thing that I'm loving about this lamb and that I've seen with other meats from time to time is sometimes it's great to get a piece of meat that's just a little bigger, a little longer, that has like a thicker end and a that tapers down to a thinner end. And the reason why is because maybe you have somebody in the house that wants meat a little more rare and somebody else that wants it a little more well done, and the thinner side will naturally be a little more well done. And that seems to sort of be what's happening here, that there's going to be something for everybody. There's no way that this piece of lamb, that the whole thing is bad or something like that. There's no way. This was a much more forgiving meat than I anticipated. It was a little different, but it worked out great. And the great thing is I feel really well that I can probably, there's still room for improvement, and I'm really happy about that. I've left it on one burner on low, and it's at 300 degrees. I have this internal clock. I feel like I haven't been doing it long enough, but it looks like I did, smells like I did. So I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna turn it off, and then I'm gonna do something a little different. Yeah, okay. I'll be right back with dessert. So this is something that is not Greek. I invented it. Copyrighted trademark. You can't put it on a newspaper. You can't put it on a t-shirt. You'll owe me money. It's called donut kebabs. Donut kebabs. And they are really good. Really good. The donut kebabs will just stay in there getting warm and toasty. Yeah, that is a good idea. The donut kebabs will just get warm and toasty while I'm finishing up. This is the part where I typically start getting some stuff together. I'm going to go get the pita bread. I'm going to throw that on there so that starts warming up. And this is going to be really good. Definitely going to throw an extra one in there because I know I'm going to want it. one more. Any last questions? In the wintertime, when it starts getting darker a lot earlier, there are things you can do about that. This right here is a little hot to the touch actually at the moment. I didn't expect that, but it's a little lamp that you can, and now I'm gonna turn it off. Let's see. Hope you're getting a good sense of that. To answer Ms. Bokia's question, the answer is no, that is not from Backdoor Donut. It's from the Triangle in Edgartown. Dippin' Donuts, I believe? Dippin' Donuts. And I agree with you. We really should do this on the library lawn. I'll look into napkins in terms of drooling, because you need that. I'm not sure about Greek ones, or I think American ones would be just fine. Any last questions? Yeah. Greek is a really nice language. It's a really nice language to try. It's not like the Romance languages. I'll say thank you very much to St. Lawrence right now in Greek. Efaristopoli. Oki. Oh yeah, actually Oki is no. So, the word for yes in Greek is ne, I believe, which is awfully confusing because it's no in almost every other language. So there.
Eric, when you serve this, you're gonna slice it?
Yes.
Yeah, and are you gonna put it on the bread and put the tzatziki on top?
That's exactly what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna put
and
in.
And you're gonna eat it.
And then I'm gonna eat it. Yeah, I'll put it in with the I'm gonna put it in with tomatoes that we've grown here, and maybe I should start that process. Maybe I should give that a shot. Let's see what happens. Should we go all the way here?
Yes, make us suffer even more.
Okay, let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I can do it. I'm gonna have to go get. See, that's another good thing about bringing out the donut kebabs, that now I've got a plate. So, whoo, there goes some crumbs. Let's go get this thing out of here. I'm gonna have to cut it up inside. It's gonna take me a second.
While Eric's doing that, I'll just let you know that we're posting all of these on our YouTube channel, on the Edgartown Library YouTube channel. So you can do that just by going to our website, or you can just go right to YouTube and search Edgartown Library.
Will the recipes be also there, or will you be doing that?
Recipes we're going to link from our website.
Excellent. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So the family agrees it looks good. That's a little bit of a miracle. If the 13-year-old didn't think it would look good, he'd be the first one to tell me so. But he said, "Can I have a piece?" And he got his piece already. Just said that's absolutely good. Sorry for the wait, everybody. We're cutting up some tomatoes in there right now, and I need to get better at cutting thinner, but this is basically the way it's going to come out. And sometimes I put some cheese on there, and I don't think you want to watch me eat this. No, it's not fair. It's not fair to everybody. I'm gonna wait, but thanks for asking. Oh, but what we can do, maybe we could eat everybody like to eat dessert first. Let's see how the donut goes. Let's see if it's gotten too overdone or too underdone. Actually, I need to put it back in. One thing I'm trying to buy is grilling. Oh, thank you for the tomatoes, boy. One thing I'm trying to do is get grill gloves right now, but Amazon takes a very long time, so I don't have them quite yet. And if you're jealous, that's okay. Anybody can do this. Any last questions before I have dinner?
That looks beautiful. Before we let you go, there's just one thing I want to ask.
Sure.
Because you did invent donut pizza, and I'm a witness to that.
Yes, I invented donut pizza and pizza donuts. Also copyrighted and trademarked. Can't put it on a t-shirt without paying me money.
Well, I don't know how to say it in Greek, but bon appetit. And kalanita, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
You're welcome. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.